So we are in July. I can't even believe it. Where on earth has this show gone so far? So today's video, I just want to share some of the books off my shelves, some of the books that are calling to me, some of the books I will possibly attempt to read. I have decided actually not to get too swept away with things that I want to take part in on BookTube. I think this is a lesson that I'm going to have to learn a few times over, but I am still in the place where the noise in my TBR is getting too much and it's distracting me away from my DIY literature degree, which for me is my key focus. It has to be. It's a goal I've set. I have a program that I've worked out. So I say that in the month where it's Jane Austen July, and when I recently uploaded a video showing all of the pile of possibilities for Jane Austen July, you will see in this video that I've had a rethink because of the fact that I need to stay true to my own focus, and there are only so many hours in a day and days in a week, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that kind of can get distracted with their reading. I've still got a ton of books to share, but for me, I'm going to take it really easy. I think I am a 3 to 4 books a month kind of girl without feeling rushed. So you can see here I've got a lot of books. So it's going to be more than that, but I'm only going to work on say 3 or 4 books out of this pile. So the one that I am definitely going to finish reading is my Charles Dickens reading. So I allocated June and July to read The Old Curiosity Shop. So this edition, it is just under 700 pages before you hit the notes in the back, so it is a bit of a dense, chunky book. I am on page 327, so I have made a bit of a dent into it. I'm nearly halfway through and I am loving it so far. So this is planned to be finished in July, and this is a definite read. Another book that is a definite I will be reading this is the second book in the Thomas Hardy read-along that Jen the Librarian is hosting. So we're reading in publication order. This is the second book that Hardy ever published. This is Under the Greenwood Tree. I am going into these pretty blind. I don't know what they're about. I loved Desperate Remedies. I absolutely loved it. You can see this is another Macmillan publication book with these incredible old covers. I love these covers. This is rather beaten up, as you can see. I found it secondhand, but I still love it so much. So that's going to be another definite read. So we've got 2 classics there for definite reads, Victorian classics. So I'm on track with my DIY literature degree reading. Right, the challenges that I'm doing as well, my own Candy Reading Challenge 2025. July's prompt, are you ready for it? July's prompt is hot. So something to do with the summer months, anything to do with heat or the sun or parasols, anything like that. So for my prompt, I have decided to read the book Heatwave by Victor Jestin, which I found in a charity shop. It looks absolutely fantastic, plus it has the bonus of also fulfilling Ben's prompt over at Ben Reads Good, because his prompt for July is to read a book that's been translated, and this is translated by Sam Taylor. I think this was originally French, so it's translated and it's to do with heat, so it covers both of my challenge prompts that I'm trying to do. Also, it's quite short, which is quite good when I'm looking at the size of some of these other books that I've got. So this is going to be a definite as well. This is only 104 pages. It says it is the end of August and the long summer holidays are drawing to a close. 17-year-old Leonard is on a camping holiday with his family in the south of France. Awkward and ill at ease, he is an outsider who creeps away from parties unnoticed after a couple of drinks. So Leonard goes on to see a tragedy play out and happen, and he gets involved in a tragedy. It sounds really quite shocking on the back of the book, so I'm really interested to read how this book is put together. It does sound really good. So that is the third definite read of the month, and that's it, guys. I'm only going to pick 3 definite reads. I just want to take pressure off. I don't want to get swept along with numbers. I don't want to get swept along with other things. I don't want to get swept along with other readathons. I've really committed to my Charles Dickens reading and my DIY literature degree. I have committed to Thomas Hardy as well, because that's all part of Victorian reading, and I have committed, of course, to my own challenge and to Ben's Read Good challenge. So I've got 3 that cover that. All the rest are just whatever takes my fancy if I've got time, but I'm not racing beyond 3 books. And I'm sorry if it's really noisy outside, but it's hot again and I've got the windows open. So okay, let's start with my pared down Jane Austen July readathon books. So the 2 books that I said I wanted to get to were Pride and Prejudice and Emma. So Pride and Prejudice would be a reread for me because I studied this at school all the way back when I was a young teenager. But Emma is the group read along. I haven't started either of these, and we're almost a week, it's the 5th today when I'm filming, we're almost a week in, so I think it is unreasonable to expect that I'm going to get to both of these alongside those other 3 books. So I'm thinking I might just pare it down to read Emma, because I don't know the story of Emma at all. I've also got the DVD to watch, so I think I'm going to attempt to try and get to Emma. And for Pride and Prejudice, I'm just going to leave it at this retelling of Pride and Prejudice, which is Pride and Prejudice told through guinea pigs, which I think is wonderful. I'm definitely going to read this one. I just think this one looks so fabulous. You just even catch your breath at that. It just makes me smile so much. We even have a list of characters in the front. Isn't that just, I love it. I love everything about that. For my Gothic studies, so this is also Jane Austen July, because one of the prompts is to read a book by a contemporary of Jane Austen. So I've picked Anne Radcliffe because that is one of my Gothic studies goals for this year, is to read the works of Anne Radcliffe. This would be the second Anne Radcliffe I've read this year, but also read The Italian. I am just dying to get to The Romance of the Forest, and this ties in really nicely with the read of Emma, because this book is mentioned in this book, so these 2 would go nicely together, and they look lovely together as well, don't they, those 2 covers. So I am really keen to get to at this Anne Radcliffe as well. So last month, spending so much time in Stratford upon Avon and going on my Hamnet quest, I really decided that I wanted to get back to Germaine Greer's Shakespeare's Wife. I am this far through. I might need to skim read and recap, but I would really love to finish this book in July. I've also got the poetry book anthology, which I'd like to continue reading as well. This is all poems about Anne Hathaway, so these 2 are also going on the pile. Now I am starting a buddy read with Nicole over at the Cottage Witch. I'll link Nicole's channel below. She's brilliant. We are attempting to read The Madwoman in the Attic together. We're going to take it nice and slow, there's no rush. We're going to at least try and read the first chapter of part 1 is what we've agreed on so far. So this is The Women Writers and the 19th Century Literary Imagination. It covers a lot of the Gothic literature and female writers. Chapter 1 is called The Queen's Looking Glass, which sounds really fantastic. So this is a big chunky book which we are starting, and I'm really excited to start that one. And I also want to carry on chipping away at key concepts in Victorian literature as well. It's a Palgrove Key Concepts by Sean Purchase. So I really found getting some context from this last month really helped my Victorian reading. But it didn't help it, it added another layer into reading. When I read in Thomas Hardy's Desperate Remedies about them waiting at train stations and missing one train and getting the next train, it just reminded me of what I'd read in here about the development of the train system in the Victorian times, and I just loved that. I loved having that background context as I read Thomas Hardy. So I'm really keen to try and get some more of this context inside of me before I continue reading Victorian literature. So you can see there's a lot of books. There's a pared down attempt to take part in Jane Austen July, but all of that is like the cherry on the cake. These 3 books are the cake itself. So we'll just see how we go. There is no pressure. Even if I only get to the guinea pig book for Jane Austen July, it's reading, isn't it? And I think unrushed reading and savoured reading is the only way to read, to be honest. I'll only get to read Jane Austen for the first time once ever in my lifetime. I don't want to rush it and shove books in and race through it. Read just for the sake of reading, or reading when I'm too tired to read, or when I think I should be doing something else. You don't want to read like that. I want to have balance in all things, including reading. So that's why I am stepping away a little bit from my TBR, and I'm just doing my core reads, and then anything else is just lovely fun and cherries on the cake. So that's what I'm aiming for in July. I'm really looking forward to these 3 core books. Let me know what you're reading. If you're taking part in the Candy Reading Challenge, what is your hot book going to be? Or if you're taking part in Jane Austen July or the Read Good Challenge, let me know, because I would love to know what you are reading too. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.